Let's back up something I've told the guys.
Wait. Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, the big fella, that is the Scruffy trader. Sitting next to me is Wonder Wink, who normally wonders what I'm going to get up to. Well, today it's very easy. I'm just trying to back up what I said to the guys. I've already started a trade, which I'm going to show you. It's actually in play as we speak, and give you a brief overview of what I'm up to. So let me show you the trade as we speak. It is here. Now it is targeted down to, well, I'm going to move it down slightly actually, because I think we're in for a good shout on this. Just a minute. I'm just going to drop it there. And why am I showing you this? Because with the group that I run, I tell them what I'm doing beforehand. And that is exactly what this video here is. This is that trade in place. And they can see what it is, why it is. And in this one, I showed them the trigger points, but also showed them how to get the direction in the first place. And it's all done following on from this. Now, this is something that I do on the top of each hour, or as close to it, where it's the products I'm looking at, and I'll grade them A, B, C, D, whether they're good, bad, indifferent. Then it'll be a case of, well, it's not a good trade, so it's a bit risky. Don't really want to do that. To no trade, in other words, there's nothing doing this hour, so leave it be. To monitor. Now, if I'm monitoring, that means there's a high probability this hour, so you monitor it, so forth, so forth. It also gives you all of the strengths and the change of strength of the currency markets, so you can actually pick out the right product as well. So it's a real good filtering process. And then in amongst it all, we have our little chat and sort of merriment, and Steph, who's as keen as mustard. I mean, look at this for keenness, right? He's actually coming up to my neck of the woods, so if he's having a couple of nights break, I might actually hijack his holiday and turn up. Gate crash. Why? Well, gate crash mine and turn up at the hotel, so I do the same to him. But how keen is that? He's on his way up, and he's got his charts in the car. What a guy. Yeah, I'm not even that bad, am I?
Well, to be fair, you're not always driving.
Well, that's true. You don't want to drive with her. She's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Every car I've ever had, she's smashed.
What has that got to do with trading?
It's got nothing to do with trading. Well, it has got to do with trading. I am having a rant. And I'll tell you a rant. I'll tell you a right good rant as well. This one is shocking, right? Really bad. Anyway, this is my Discord group, or our Discord group, because she's involved with it as well. And we have a merriment chat, and we look at it, and we talk all day. We have sing songs, you name it. Oh, yes. And today is the 3rd birthday of the YouTube channel. Woohoo! It's 3. It's a toddler. Well, she thinks I'm a toddler, but that's another story. Right. Let's look at this trade, and I'll tell you a little story while it's on. Right? Because she's here. Now, years ago, if you've followed my journey in life, you'll know that I used to own a factory, and I did really well with it. And one of the first things I ever wanted to do was have a Mercedes, because I was company director. Why not? You know, saved up hard, and I got one brand new off the boat. Brand new, right? Only me had ever drove it. I was so pleased. I was happy, and I even wouldn't let them let somebody drive it to the unit. I made them bring it on a low loader so that I was the first one to drive it. That's how much I really wanted this car. This car. And you know what she did? She wanted to drive it. And I said, yeah, all right. And I'd only had it 2 weeks. And I walked into the kitchen, and she's at the fridge door, and she's going, what's wrong with you? I've got good news and bad news. It's Sunday morning, boys and girls. I don't want any bad news on a Sunday morning. I said, oh, just tell us the good news. It's all right. I got the insurance details. My car. I'd only had it 2 weeks and she crashed it.
I think someone went into the back of it.
Any excuse. The car prior to that, she crashed it. You crashed everything. She's not allowed in Bruiser. Don't let her drive Bruiser. Right or wrong? In fact, in fact, I bought her a Mercedes, and it was a beautiful car. This one. Right? Beautiful. How long did you have it before it got hit?
Well, someone reversed into us.
There's a bit of a pattern here, isn't it? It's always somebody else's fault.
It was actually.
Right. Just as well, bloody well insured. Right. Say. If you've never been on this channel before, it is a trading channel. However, unlike the other shite that you watch, this one's real life. Nothing is scripted. When I'm on the chart, it's in the moment. Because if you look at the clock down the bottom, I'm not sure whether you can see it. It is the 27th today, but just so that you can kind of see. There you go. That's the date and the time. I can't manipulate this because it's as it is. And as I've just shown you in the Discord, they already know what I'm doing. So I ain't got one of these. Take into that what you will. Right? So if you like real world trading, and now I've had a bit of a rant and a bit of you've really sore pointed me now. That brought flashbacks to that car. I love that car.
It got fixed.
It wasn't the fact that it got fixed. I only had it 2 bloody weeks. I'm old as well, boys and girls, so I do tend to go on a rant every once in a while.
Every once in a while, it's getting every day.
Yeah, well, I watch one foot in the grave, so obviously I'm in training. So, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the DAX.
But you forgot.
I did. Forgot all about it. No, but that's another part of trading. I don't tinker with it either. Not really. Might tinker with the targets a bit. And if I think something's not quite right, I might move them around. It's a little bit like yesterday. I got clipped yesterday because I kind of read cable wrong. And I do lose, guys. I do lose. But I'm sensible enough to kill it when I'm wrong. And that's kind of what happened here. Before it got out of hand, I thought, I've read this wrong. Time to go. I'll get out. It's a little bit like the FTSE this morning. I was having a look at that. And it's coming into a level and one thing and another. It was titting around. I thought, no, I'll just kill it. All right. Because my theory on life is simple. I'll start with 0, end with 1. I couldn't care less what happens in the middle. As long as this bit here is positive. All right. So let me get back to this trade. If you start out on an hour's a good time period to watch because you can see a good part of where the chart is going and what it's trying to achieve. Now, in this situation, what we can see is a drive here. Strong drive. All right. And it's pushing down and we'll probably be able to get to roughly around this cluster point here. Now I have a chance to maybe kill this in a moment, and I'll show you for why. Because it's got decent money in it just now, but we got this drive pushed around, but it caught the top of this. And if you ever watch me mark these in, these levels were marked in on Sunday, and we on Thursday. So that's gone to the pip of what I marked in on Sunday. Found the levels here. Pretty much pit perfect. Now we're in a decent pocket of air, but I want to map that out as well. So this is how I would map it out. I'll get a fib I can see the start of the moves down here. I can see the top of the moves up there. I can see the breach of the 23. And then down here, there's the 38. So if I draw in, just to highlight this, some levels, and then I can adjust the target into it. There's a decent target point. All right, so I'll just move that onto there. Then I've got another one underneath it, which is here. So what I've essentially done is I've got a bias on this, and I showed the guys how to do it because it's done through multi-time frame. You look up the chart, you can see, well, if there's going to be some decent pullbacks, and that's the rollover that you can see. Well, that's pretty darn decent. There it is, it's rolling over, so its logical point is down here somewhere, but I like to be safe. There's going to be a stall point. Stalled on the 4 hour, and then down onto here, where you can see it's been pit perfect before, and then eventually here. Now, I don't really want to hold the trade. I don't want to be in it any longer than I have to be. So I'll just get in, get out, get paid, and I'll quite be happy. Come down to the hourly. Very simple. Don't need that fib anymore because I've put them levels in. I've now got reasonable target points that are from market structure. And it's the structure I'm interested in, because if you look at how the fib has performed in the past, because that's what markets do, you know, an echo of the past will give you a vision of the future. Well, all of that's the past. It's now not breaching the top. So if it's not breaching the top, it's coming down. If it's coming down, it's going to look at logical stall points. Well, there's one. And that was mapped out. And sure enough, it's stalled in that area before. So it's a good place to place a target. If you want to be brave, you can put it here. And then eventually, you want to be out before it gets there. Simple stuff, guys. Simple stuff. And then all you need to do to fine tune it is drop on a 15-minute to have a look. Well, we can see the collapse coming in, which I'm quite pleased with. And then if you really want to fine tune it, take it down to a 5-minute, and then you can just watch it play out. And you can do candle counts, you can do whatever you want. But before you get to your 15 and 5, be sure of your trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this play out. I've got to pop out in a few minutes. So I'll just leave this on screen. Am I going to leave it to here? If I get 100 quid out of it, I'll be happy. If I get 200, even better. But I might, I'm going to leave it there while I'm sitting here. But when it pulls out, I might just move it up to 100 so it'll cash out while I'm away. And we'll see. I'll catch you at the end.
We're waiting.
Okay, guys. Hope you're well. Back. Had a jolly old time in the pub. Because it's the channel's birthday today. And there is nothing on the screen. Now, what we can also see is it's maybe setting up now. But I'd have to analyze it. because I've literally just walked back through the door. But what it's done in the meantime is it's done its tick count, and because it had got to a certain level, I always pull my stops in when I'm not being at the screen. I'll pull them in tight because I don't really want to sit on them, and it just stopped me out. It's not a big thing, it's not a big issue. So what that does for me is it gives me peace of mind. It just means I'm never sort of anxious on the charts, and being anxious on the charts can be a terrible thing, because that's when you fidget, and when you fidget you make mistakes, and those mistakes can be costly. So just a quick one to show the guys what I was talking about earlier on. Quite pleased with the result. Could have been better. I should have really pulled it when it was hitting 100, but we're only human. And the way I look at it is a win is a win. You know, the money's not important. You know, as long as I follow the process and it's positive, then to me it's a good trade. So happy days. So if you like it, do subscribe. If you're stuck, I'm very easy found. There's loads of contact details in the description below, and also in the below obviously I had a bit too good time in the pub. You'll find some good links. You'll get 5% off the prop fund that I use, where I am a fully funded trader. Also, if you want to try Black Bull, they are a recommended broker that I use. They use WebTrader and MT5, and the spreads are minute. So happy day. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.